The shutdown is very clearly being blamed on Chuck Schumer and the Dems. Trump had a thing or two to say about it this weekend, actually just yesterday, on Maria Bartiromo's show on Fox. Let's watch.
They have a deal. We have a deal. We just want an extension. And the reason we want an extension is because you can't make a deal with these people. They're lunatics. They've gone crazy. They're crazed people. Trump derangement syndrome. There really is that disease. At first, I found it to be amusing. Now I find it really is. They want $1.5 trillion for health care for illegal aliens that come into our country. If we do that, it will jeopardize the health care of the citizens of our country. So we're not going to do that.
Yeah. So he's kind of made it clear. He's drawn a line in the sand. He said, look, give us a clean CR. We can negotiate some more, but we need a clean CR. We're not going to continue on with the $1.5 trillion that you guys put in after COVID, courtesy of Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. Those days are over. It was always meant to be temporary. We're no longer living through that crisis. It's over. I realize you brought every Tom, Dick, and Harry, or Jose, Juan, and Joaquin, okay, into the country, but you can't do it. Like, we're not gonna pay for that. We just don't have the ability to do it. And so the Democrats are getting hit with this. And by the way, don't take his word for it. Don't take my word for it. Let's go to a poll that CNN is showing about just exactly where the blame game is falling. Here's someone who I've grown to kind of like for his personality, and he talks like me. Things like, "Oh goodness gracious," that's like something I would say. Anyway, Harry Anton, here he is.
That's exactly right. Turns out shutdowns are different the second time around when it comes to Donald Trump. Take a look here. We speak about Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating. We're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen. This shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
What about the question of blame?
Yeah, okay. What about the question of blame? Okay, you see Donald Trump's net approval rating was down 2018 to 2019. You talk about 2025 as net approval rating is up. It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown, a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump, a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what? It's not actually harming me politically, in large part because he's getting less of the blame.
And he's doing things differently during this shutdown.
Yes, exactly right. We talk about Donald Trump and you say, okay, he wants to be a consequential, influential president. Well, if the legislative process is basically freezed up, on Capitol Hill, you may say, well, then he can't actually get legislation through. But that's not how Trump is governing in this term. We've spoken about this over and over and over again. He's using his pen. He's using executive orders. Trump executive orders at this point of presidency. In 2017, it was just 50. Look at this.
Whoa.
Only 210 executive orders signed by Donald Trump during this presidency. That is the most in a year. You have to go all the way back since Franklin Delano Roosevelt to find a president who signed more executive orders in a year than Donald Trump has already signed this time around. And remember, John Berman, we still have 2 months to go in this year, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if he signs even more.
Yeah, it seems to be saying, Congress,
this is
you don't want to
so
do
incredible, right? So he's basically saying, okay, I'm gonna do everything. You guys shut it down. You shut it down because you want $1.5 trillion for illegals. Now, the way that would actually work from a technical perspective, just so we're all clear, so when your liberal friends say, oh, that wouldn't go there, Hakeem Jeffries tells us that wouldn't go actually to illegals. It actually goes to the states, and then the states give it to the illegals. In the case of, for example, California, they put $6.5 billion going to illegals for emergency care. So yeah, it does actually wind up leaking through to illegals, and that is his problem with all of it. I mean, we can't afford it, right? Like, that's just the basic situation.